I have always been fascinated with bladed weapons and knives since I was a little boy. My dad made knives when I was a kid, and I was really enthused about learning how to do it and helping him with it, so I think that's where it started. My dad is the Albert and Albert Curtis Knife Art. Because Dad participated so much in my ability to learn to make things with my hands and form things from my imagination, I wanted to honor his memory by putting his name first. So Albert Curtis Knife Art, that's where that came from. And I keep a picture of him here in the shop over the bench. There were a lot of times when we worked together in the shop, sometimes just for a second, even though he's been gone for 5 years. I think, wouldn't it be nice if I could ask Dad? It's a tradition that I have that every knife gets touched by something that was touched by him, whether it's a hammer, a chisel, one of his saws, a drill press, drill bits from his old shop. I always try to incorporate that to put a little bit of him in the finished product of the knives. The beginning, the middle, and the end of every knife that comes out of the shop is pretty much the same. There are some variables. Usually it starts somewhere other than the shop. An idea for a texture or color or size or a shape of a blade will come to me, and it kicks around in my head for days sometimes, and other times it's just a matter of a few minutes and I come back to the shop and get it on paper. If it looks good, I turn it into a template, and it goes from a template onto the steel, gets cut out or ground out to a rough shape, and then onto the belt grinder for finish shaping. There are about 12 different steps to getting a knife just to the roughed out point where you do finish sanding, but it involves heat treating and quenching, tempering, polishing, sharpening. Once the shape of the blade is there, and the general contour, then building the handle either to my own hand or to the hand of the person that's commissioned the knife becomes a whole nother part of the process. I love repurposing and reclaiming materials that have already been worked and who have a spirit, so to speak, of their own. I like using files, rasps that have been retired, they're no longer being used, and they're going to wind up in a scrap heap and melted down someday, or maybe just buried at the landfill. I also like using saw blades, large circular saw blades that have been in sawmills for years that have cut thousands of board feet. And the steel is very good, tough, well-tempered. I try to leave little clues in the knives of what their beginnings were. Some of the texture from files, some of the pitting that comes from rust on the old saw blades gets buffed out and becomes part of the personality of the new tool. For handle material, I like to use local woods. I like to use wood from fruit trees, particularly ones that have already lived their life out and died. Now they're waiting to go in the fireplace. Also, wood from all over the world is used either in a whole piece or laminated or layered into the local woods. I like to kind of work a combination. For me, the knife has to function. Every knife that comes out of this shop, whether it's designed to be a piece of art to be admired or kept in a collection, or to be taken out in the field and used in bush crafting, it has to be a strong functioning knife. It has to meet certain standards of toughness and sharpness and durability. At the same time, I want to express myself artistically in that knife with color and texture and so forth. Even though there's a sense of satisfaction in looking at it when it's done, I don't want it to be done, because it's the relationship with that knife is over. And I set it in a case, or I take a photograph of it and make it available for somebody to buy, and then I want to start another one. I want to build another one.